Hey guys, welcome back. On this episode of Pronoobrc, Jesse and I are talking about our MiniZ collection and our latest edition, the MR-03 EVO from Kyosho. And we started MiniZ racing actually just last year. We got back into it. We started with a few box stock cars, basically just zero modifications. Just you buy it, you throw a set of tires on it, a set of batteries in it, you race it with the stock controller and have a lot of fun. And as you go, there's different classes. Of course, you want to throw some money at the car. You start building them up like this little guy. You get all the next racing front end in there, looking all purty. This guy actually still has a stock motor in him, so we put a whole bunch of weight in him. Actually made him handle a lot better, but he's a little bit slower. But he gets around the track pretty good, a little more consistent with the extra weight, so we kind of like him. Another box stock car. And then we have another, this would be our super stock car. This has got a 50-turn PN Racing motor in it, a PN Racing chassis, the next front end. Absolutely gorgeous machine. Very fun car to race. We actually bought this from a friend of ours. It needs new tires right now. We took it to the track last night and they're just looping around. They're pretty smoked. So yeah, but anyway, the purpose why we wanted to do this video was to kind of answer a couple questions that when we wanted to get into a MiniZ EVO, it was very confusing. There was a lot of information out there, some good, mostly confusing. I'm not going to say anything was bad, it was just confusing. You do need a radio before you buy an EVO. You can run many different radios. We run the Kyosho KT432 PT Synchro Touch. We do have a video on it. It is an absolutely beautiful radio. Makes race car sounds. Only thing we did was change the wheel from foam to rubber to get a little bit more of a consistent feel on it. But so anyway, you're going to need a radio like this, or the Fly Sky Noble. I believe that is the one you guys are using, or there's another Futaba. So you're going to need the radio before you even think about buying a car, or you can buy the car and a radio, however you want to do it. Make sure you do have a radio. It will not run off the stock ones. And once you get the radio, you're going to need to get a Kyosho MiniZ EVO receiver unit for the radio you need. This one is for the KT531P and the 432PT, which is this one here. So you want to make sure you get the receiver that works with that. They have the receiver for the Futaba, the Fly Sky, and the Kyosho that I know of. I think there's a Spectrum one, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. So that being said, once you have that, you can go get the receiver, then go get the car, and that's all you need, you guys. I know there's a lot of information. People are like, oh, you'll need this, you'll need that, you'll need a board, you'll need this, and da-da-da-da-da-da. So we wanted to go with the super stock, so we went with a MR-03 EVO 5600 kV brushless, and because all of our bodies are the wide, we went with the wide mid-motor 5600 kV. So, okay, so another question that comes up is the narrow versus wide chassis layout on these. A couple places we looked online had the narrow and had the wide, but we couldn't get the answer from the description or the box if it had the parts inside of the kit to convert it between the narrow and the wide and whichever you want to do. So we can tell you with 100% confidence that the parts are supplied with the lower plate to change to a narrow. We did buy a wide car to go with the bodies like we just said, but we weren't sure if the parts were here to convert. We didn't want to be left stuck with that deal. We didn't want to be left stuck with a narrow chassis car with wide body, so we bought the wide from our friends over at Limited RC. And they were still themselves, without opening the box, they were not sure if it had the parts in it to go to narrow. So we can confirm the parts do come with it to go narrow. So you'll need the chassis, the radio, the receiver, that's it. Then you're going to want to buy a set of offset tires. They sell them in this big old package that has all the offsets. Your body will come with a sheet of paper that tells you what offset wheel to run on them. You can get these Kyosho wheels in all different sizes, and I'm very cool that they give you all of them, so you don't have to, oh, I bought a 2 instead of a 3, and you know what I mean? You're not back and forth all day long. So this is nice that they've done that. So basically, throw some tires on it, throw some wheels on it, and it's ready for the track. Cars are pretty much the same as your MR-03. Inside the battery box, you do have the gold-plated terminals, and you have a brushless motor. The front top plate is a little bit different. this piece here is actually separate than the front piece. It's not all one continuous piece like on this car where it's this whole top plate's one piece. This guy's actually a piece from here down, separate piece there, and this is actually the cover where your receiver goes into. Now when you get the car and that receiver board, there's a hole here on the chassis open up. I don't want to pull mine apart to mess with it because it's kind of a pain in the butt. It's easy to do, but okay, so when you get the car, there is this little cover comes, it's not on the car, it's in with the parts bag, and your receiver needs to bed into there. There's one of those little tiny like a little pin block on the bottom, and the bottom of the circuit board's got all these tiny little hairs, or pins the size of hairs. You need to make sure you get it lined up perfectly in the middle. You can go left, you can go right a little bit, make sure you have it perfectly in the middle, and then when you push it down, what I did was I turned the car on to make sure the light lit up on it, and I had a connection, and then I pushed it down hard till it clicked in, and then I put the cover on with feeding the antenna out. So this is the transponder. The cars do not come with the transponders. You can pick those up at Limited RC. I think they're about 15-20 bucks. So yeah, so pretty much that's going to sum up the couple of the answers we wanted to hammer out in this video. As we do modifications and build this car up, we're going to do an entire build series with racing in between at our local track. We have 4 of the RCP tracks Big L, the 50 centimeter Big L. We have 4 of them put together just down the road in a nice big old heated shop, and it's a lot of fun. So we're going to get some footage of the car on the track Sunday's race, and then next week some parts are going to come in, the front end and the rear pod and stuff, so we can start throwing a bit more fancy stuff, get rid of all this crappy aluminum. But it is nice, the car, or crappy plastic, and go to aluminum, sorry. But it is nice, the car is super light, so it's going to be fast and sporty like this. But as you get to the high end speed and you start hitting the bumps, you don't have much weight to hold you down, where like this guy here with all the aluminum, like he's a slug compared to this guy, right? So that's a bounce test. Check it out. Okay, that's enough talking on this video, guys. We just wanted to answer those couple questions about the MiniZ MR-03 EVO that we had getting into it. Yes, you can convert between the narrow and the wide. The parts are included. You will only need to buy the receiver board, and you have to have your own radio. That's it. Simple enough. Okay, go home now. Bye.